Gender-based violence is one of the most prevalent human rights violations. It knows no social, economic or cultural confinement. University students are suffering in silence with no one to turn to.
SGBV is an issue that we are facing in campus, especially sex for grades, especially things doing with relationships, intimate partner violence and such. And so the connection between SGBV and marks and relationships is something that is wide that we can't explore in just a bit, in a nutshell.
I'm also a firm believer that you cannot negotiate anything within the Sexual Offences Act. You cannot negotiate sexual harassment, you cannot negotiate rape, you cannot negotiate defilement, you cannot negotiate sex trafficking.
It remains largely unreported or in reported instances retracted and settled, making the perpetrator walk free with heinous acts in colleges and universities.
But then what I can say is that the fear of going to report comes in when someone, for example, you're fearing if you go to report, your parents are going to be called, you're going to be all over, everyone is going to know that you were raped, everyone is going to know you experienced this and that with that lecturer or that person. So that is the major issue why people don't go to report.
People have no mechanisms of reporting. Our justice system is slow and unwinding, and very many people are afraid to report because of the longevity of a case taking place in court.
So that there's a justice component also, and that perpetrators are appropriately punished or expelled, or in the case of lecturers or cleaners and others, dismissed, so that a university can feel that they have a safe campus for their students, but also for everyone concerned.
Since the Beijing World Conference on Women in 1995, the issue of gender-based violence has gained greater visibility, with the latest commitments to end gender-based violence during the ICPD 25 in Nairobi. But in our Kenyan universities, the issue is yet to be discovered and handled separately.
Otherwise, if we can get a clear reporting system, then I'm sure that we can get to the roots of SGBV and we can be able to solve the problem.
A multi-sectoral approach with dealing with sexual violence. We need to have the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Interior and the justice system working closely together to ensure that everybody gets justice, but most importantly, that young people are protected from sexual violations.
A bigger part of research exists today on the types of gender-based violence, the variations of the violence, and the strategies for reducing the prevalence of gender-based violence and its non-existence. The latest being that which was conducted in Moi University, dubbed End Violence on Campus, Evoc, led by Professor Paula Tavo from University of California, and the findings were shocking.
One of our key findings was already 14% of the students, which is about 1 in 7, have already experienced some form of sexual assault. Now, it was mostly from a fellow student. About 8 or 9% was from a stranger, but also about 9% was from lecturers. There was also some assaults that were occurring from security guards, cleaners, and others. So it's a campus-wide problem.
Girls around Africa face the same challenges. The perpetrators of sexual violence are the same, irrespective of which country you are, irrespective of your economic stature. In Nairobi, we went to a very upmarket school where a child was reporting their father having defiled them. So this is not a case of poor people or rich people.
So our idea is that comprehensive solution involves prevention, it involves activism, it involves victim assistance, but also policy changes.
For Ebru TV, I'm Odee Francis.